The Marvel Secret Lairs sold out in under 5 hours, and there are fans of Magic the Gathering, Marvel, that were sitting there waiting, biting at the bit on the edge of their seat. They were in the queue at the start. As soon as the website, as soon as these cards, went live, they were there ready to buy their cards, waited for hours, cancelled plans, only to find that they got to their basket and there was nothing left in stock. Let's talk about the recent events of this Marvel Secret Lair. Some would say disaster. Now, I don't want to jump on the whole negative bandwagon too hard. It's not really the vibe of my channel I want to give. Also, I just want to point out I'm a bit sick at the moment, so that's why my voice sounds a little bit weird, okay? It was the same thing in my last video, but I forgot to mention it. So I'm just going to go outright and say this now. I was one of the people that were in line waiting for my Marvel Secret Lairs. I was very lucky that I was able to get the 2 Secret Lairs that I wanted. That was the Iron Man and Wolverine one. However, I know that there are people out there, a lot of people out there, including people that I know that were not as fortunate as I was. And I use that word fortunate because a lot of this does seem like luck. But some of it may not be, and I want to discuss that as well. So grab your brews, team. This is going to be a spicy one. So let's start from the beginning. A lot of people were sitting there waiting, knew the Secret Lair was going to drop, and UK time and my time, it was about 5 p.m. I think in America it was around 9 a.m. in the morning. So let's bear in mind that people are aware that this is going to be a crazy drop, and it's very likely that people rather booked time off work, cancelled plans, whatever it was, to try to get these cards. Because I know that sounds crazy, but I guarantee you there were people that did that, because people know that with the nature of these Secret Lairs, it's like you get one time at this hour. If you're not there, everyone knew this was going to sell out immediately. Like, I mean, personally, I had thoughts that maybe they would print a lot of this because they knew that there was going to be a huge demand, and it just made sense on a profit standpoint. But I also knew that there was very likely a chance that it was just going to sell out immediately, which is exactly what happened. And I want to talk about why I think that Wizards decide to go down this route, because I don't think this is incompetence. You see loads of people commenting on Twitter, on YouTube, and just being like, Wizards are so stupid. How could they not know that there was going to be this much demand? How are they not printing enough product? They're such idiots. They're leaving so much money on the table. This is Wizards. I'm not being funny. I know this is going to upset a lot of people, but you are not smarter than the top people at Wizards. You're not. They know you don't have a $1 billion business, do you? Or do you? Maybe you do, but you don't. Let's be honest. So these people know better than you. So they are doing things deliberately. Okay. So when they have done this, this is deliberate. Why have they done this? Well, I believe it is to create a sense of hype and demand, and I also think is a big marketing strategy. Okay, but we're going to get into that in a minute. First, let's take it back, because I don't want to go too much off topic. I want to talk about this whole journey as a whole. So anyway, I'll tell you a bit of my story. So it was me and my play group. So me, my sister and my cousin were all on the phone waiting for this drop. Me and my sister logged onto the site about maybe an hour before or something. I think we'd gone and checked on the site previously beforehand. Like, I know I checked it at, like, you know, as soon as I woke up to see if I could get on it, and then they had a page saying the Secret Lair website is not ready yet, basically. But I'm not sure if they were still taking that into account when it was figuring out what position you were in the queue. As soon as the site, you were able to get on it. I don't know if I got there right on time, but it was about an hour before or something. You could actually go on the site and look at the Secret Lair products and stuff like that. They were all on there. You couldn't add them to your basket. It had a little timer, like a little countdown timer on there to tick down. So we were basically on there for the last hour or something, just watching that time tick down. And then about a minute before the cards were going to drop, my cousin came on and did the same thing and sat there. So as soon as this timer went and you could buy, we all clicked add stuff to our basket, boom, and then we were added to a queue. Within 5 minutes, or something like that, I don't know, the line was paused, and I believe this was to address some issues where people were finding ways to skip the queue. There was a link going around that was working where people could click on this link and skip the queue. This is pretty shit. People using that, you are you are essentially cheating the system. I'm not surprised that people have done it, but it's shitty. And what is even shittier is if there are people out there, content creators, that are like promoting this link. You shouldn't be doing that. I'm not gonna go out and throw shade and name names and stuff, but I just want to put that out there, that is a pretty shitty thing to be promoting. So yeah, we shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff. But it happens, and ultimately it is on Wizards. That was fixed within about 45 minutes, so we were all back in the queue. Eventually, after I think about 3 hours, I would say, me and my sister were able to purchase our cards, and our cousin was still in the queue for quite a while after. Once he finally got to the end of his queue, his basket was empty. And I know for a fact this happened to a lot of people, okay, where they were waiting in this queue. They were there as the cards dropped, and ultimately they waited for nothing. They had sat there for hours at their computer only to find they could not buy their cards. How heartbreaking is that? There are people that this was out of their control, and now they cannot get their favorite hero cards. It's not nice. Now, of course, these secret lairs aren't going to be the only way to get these heroes on cards. There will be Marvel sets. You are going to be able to get your favorite Iron Man, Wolverine, Storm. I mean, I don't know for certain, but I can pretty much say with certainty you are going to be able to get these cards, or at least these heroes. And in terms of these exact cards, there was an article with or a statement by Mark Rosewater where he was talking about the changes to Universes Beyond, and how they used to say that they would guarantee a Universes Within version, and they're not doing that now. So some people believe that this is because they are going to release, well, I think it even said this in a statement, that they would release possibly the same card just with different art. So it's still Iron Man, it's still Captain America, the actual card with the same ability, but just a different like art style. So the hero's in a different pose or something. So it's not the exact card. So you still have the exclusivity of the art, but you still get to have your favorite superhero in this version, which I think is obviously very, very nice. And I think people would be happier with that. Still, no one is going to like the fact that there's a product that you have made that they want to buy, but you are making it extremely difficult for them to buy. It's just a bit weird. I want to talk about why I think Wizards have done this, and I think this is simply a case of there's no such thing as bad press. This event has got everyone talking. If a load of content creators and stuff now start, like big personalities start posting about all of this stuff, and then people from outside of this community now start being like, oh, Wizards Marvel cards sell out in a few hours. People that don't understand what Secret Lairs or anything like this is, they just see this story and it just creates hype, right? It's going to bring everyone's eyeballs to this game. So then when they release their next Secret Lair Marvel drop or their Marvel set, people are going to be going even crazier. They're just trying to build up as much hype as possible. They don't care if some people get upset in the first place. They can go to like shareholders and show, look how quickly our product sold, you know, like we could do this for your product, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So I think there is things going on that we don't quite understand, and it's easy to just be like, oh, I didn't get my cards, fuck you, Wizards, you know. But you know, I think there is reasons for this. I'm not justifying it. I just want to be very clear. I'm not justifying this behavior at all. Ultimately, it benefits them and it fucks us as the consumers, which is not ideal. It is quite sad, and I feel really gutted for people that had their money waiting and were unable to purchase their product that they wanted. I mean, I think it's really shitty that people have taken hours out of their day to buy your product and to ultimately be punished by that. It is unfortunate. People are begging for Wizards to go back to a print to demand strategy. That is what they used to have for Secret Lairs. Now, it's important to point out there's a reason why they stopped this, because people were complaining that they were waiting up to 6 months for their Secret Lair. Now, if you were waiting that long for a Secret Lair that wasn't as popular as Marvel, how long could you have been waiting for the Marvel one? Like, imagine if you had to wait about a year for your product because of a print to demand model. That people would just be upset about that. I'd be like, this is ridiculous. So yeah, I think ultimately this is just how Secret Lairs are. I think it's always going to upset certain people. If you put stuff like this as a Secret Lair, you are going to upset people. People are going to get heartbroken. It's just how it is. Making product that is this exclusive and this hard to buy and that is this popular is just... it's not a great idea. Okay, these cards could have easily been their own commander decks, very available for everyone to buy, and you know people would have bought them just purely for these 5 cards in the Secret Lair alone. That's what there is really to say about this topic. I mean, expect to see this again. I'm sorry, I know people don't want to hear that, but it's just the case. This ultimately has been a wild success for Wizards. They have made a product and sold out immediately. All these cards have already been printed, so they're just boom, app shipped, done. They've got their money and that's it. A very big victory for Wizards. Good for the company, and it's very likely we're going to be seeing this again. You know, wait for SpongeBob, okay? I don't give a shit about SpongeBob, but there is a lot of people that bloody love SpongeBob, and it will probably be the same thing with that. It'll probably sell out immediately. So, and maybe this is just going to be a trend now that we're going to see. But who knows? Let me know in the comments below, were you one of the heartbroken fans that waited in queue for hours to get your cards, or were you one of the lucky ones and are looking forward to getting your product? What do you think Wizards should do to combat this issue? And yeah, let me just know your thoughts in the comments below. Guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I hope to see you all again in the next one. Cheers.